We out here.
Check your mind, Gucci. It's about that time. The bus.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
That was a lot, wasn't it? That was a lot, wasn't it?
I like my talent, man.
That was a lot, wasn't it? Wasn't it,
Whatever,
Dr.
No,
dog.
C?
because listen, let me say this.
Oh God,
First
here
of
we go.
all,
Listen,
no,
listen.
because
Let me say this first of all. That means it's gonna be a minute. What?
look, the reality is this: when you're growing up, no matter what your background is,
Are
if
you
your
talking?
people
You
don't
talking
have,
about the video?
yeah, if your
Oh,
people
okay.
don't have and they're not able to expose you or teach you, you can grow up in any situation. You know how it was in KC. You know, you go down to 17th and Topping, that's the hood. You know, you go over towards southeast and other central Paseo. Though
Mhm.
a lot of people grew up in a lot of very diversified areas, but the reality is that there's a lot of people that came out of those areas that did things way beyond what they probably thought they could ever imagine doing. And it depends on how, what your parents are raised in, how they see things, if they're trying to do something different, if they're not. When the young people kind of start telling us their truth about how they
We live,
feel,
y'all.
we know that.
No, no, I'm talking to the audience. It's about to get started. Go and start sharing. Let everybody know that we're about to get it started in a few minutes. Continue, Rhonda. I'm sorry. I had to
No,
go
but
ahead and move.
if your family's not exposed or they're not looking to do anything differently because of whatever their circumstances are, then until you do have that awakening moment, whether it be friends from high school, elementary school, or when you go off to college, or even when you get a job, just being around people that kind of diversifies your life across the board when it comes to culture and what you're being exposed to. I think the young man just did a great job of expressing himself,
I think he did too.
but I think he should have probably in some way kind of sat down with his parents or his mom, because I think for mothers that are color, it hits a little different than it does for anybody else when you're raising a young man, especially a young black brown man, and you're praying and hoping that one, life doesn't take him out, and that two, that he makes it beyond the age of 20 to be somebody and to be successful and to to play a part in his community and to grow up and having beautiful black babies with a great wife that can be supportive of him and he can be supportive of her. But if he's marrying somebody other than what you may think your dream is for him, he did an excellent job expressing to how the exposure of this young lady opened his eyes to more than just what he had been exposed to all of his life. So, the question is, I don't think anything about a woman of another nationality being your piece. I think it's about what that woman brings to the table when it comes to things that you don't know anything about. And she brought a whole lot. Her family brought a lot to the
Yeah,
table for him.
that's because the audience probably, I'm sure, don't know what we're talking about, but that's something that is a topic that we're actually going to get into next week. I think that's a pretty good topic.
That
Um,
is gonna be great. I got so
Yeah,
much
it's
stuff to
going to
say
be
about it,
crazy.
so
You
So
that's
you
got a
great.
guys
lot
look
to
forward to
say.
it. Look forward to it. And if you're just now getting here, give us some thumbs up. Let us know that you're here. Let us know that you're here because we about to get this started in what 1 minute. We're about to get it started
Hmm.
in 1 minute. Lift had to go out for a second. He has to do something. So we'll get it started in 1 minute. I'm sharing on the groups, share on your Facebook, share on your
Let's
Instagram,
go.
everything, everything,
Let's go.
everything. Uh, one love corporate incorporate love black. So if you guys got a group page or you go in your growing your group pages or whatever, start sharing in the group pages because that's kind of like a better way to get a bigger audience.
Happy Thursday, Jill.
Thursday,
Happy
Jill,
Thursday.
Jilly, what's up, Jill? In the his house.
Watch
All
out there now. You feel me?
right. Hey, before we actually really get started, man, I was actually the reason you see me bring up OJ Simpson is because
Marlon.
it was brought to me a day or two ago about, I guess it's from what I read, I think it's part of a documentary where one of the closest person of his used to be his manager, I believe, or assistant or something like that, came up with this story. I won't say it's an untrue story, but he came up with this story of actually, speaking on him and the murder. Him killing Cole and yeah. So the funny thing is this, man, and the reason I didn't really want to get too crazy or deep into it was because of course the man is dead now. He passed away last April. And of course everybody has some things to say as to what happened. And of course us as brothers and sisters, we already knew. We know he's guilty. We know that. You know what I'm saying? He got away. We know he got away with some crap. You know what I mean? So apparently the assistant was on the show and was talking about the conversation that he had with him, I believe either when he got out or before he got out, as to who killed him, and the statement of him saying that he said that OJ said that if she didn't come to the door with the knife, she'd still be alive. So basically, he's saying that because of all this time, all this 20 years, nobody ever said anything about her with a knife, or having a knife or whatever, and in the whole struggle, it was all about him having a knife or whatever and killing her and what's the guy's name? What was the guy the guy, the boyfriend or whatever he was?
I forget his name.
Yeah. I think his name was Ron.
Ron, yeah, was it? Yeah, Ron Goldman. It was Ron Goldman. Yeah. So basically, man, the thing that bothered me when she had told me about it, and that I, when I read about it, was all these years that went past, the man is dead, and now you have the nerve to say, you know what I'm saying? Oh, this is what he told me then. Why you didn't say it a year ago?
I mean, he didn't want to get his chip.
Well, no, they're they're still trying to make money off of because of the fact it's a white woman that's been killed or whatever, and he was a famous person, and they can make a documentary. So what else to make you say whoa? You know what I'm saying? Is to make statements like that or whatever. When actually in reality, if that was the case, then you should have been a part of it too, because you didn't say nothing all that time. Back in the time, you didn't tell nobody. None of the attorneys back at the time that he said it, that this happened.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or this is what he said. You know what I mean? So I just wanted to touch on that. I didn't want to get too deep into it because I don't like the fact that when somebody knows what's going on, just like when it goes with P. Diddy and all these other stars or whatever.
They wait till they go to jail to tell.
Yeah, and they wait to say something, whatever, when you basically been a part of the shit because you didn't even say nothing.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, anywho, we're going to get it started, man. I'm glad we see a few people in. And oh shit, I didn't even see Delisa. What's up?
Delisa,
Big O in the house.
Yeah.
What do you mean got gum, Delisa? What are you talking about? What's good, family? Marlon's in the house. She said his agent. Oh, that was his agent. That's what she's telling me. Yeah. O's in the house. We don't know that about OJ. Exactly. We didn't know that about him or whatever. And I was going to hear other stuff about him if it's going to sell and make money. You know what I mean? So anyway, we about to get this started, you guys. In 5, 4, 3, 2. Let's go.
All our illusions will disapparate, and all the reasons start to fade.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Reasons, the show where you can give your reasons why you think what you feel about what we're talking about today. We should know this, man. We say no.
Dear brother, how do y'all erectile dysfunction when you're in a relationship.
I wouldn't know how to do it unless I had it.
I had it.
And remember, if they talk. Oh, did I get that off early?
Dweeb.
You cut
This-
that off.
Hey, Black Lip, come get your cousin.
Get that off quickly.
I know, right? What's up? Because I see y'all
You
didn't
too
see
excited.
what I said.
Too excited.
No, I seen an inside joke just now, and I just started laughing about it, and I accidentally hit the button.
Oh, you talking about?
Yeah, the Lisa says the gun got gum. Y'all just don't know what it is. Anyway, welcome to Reasons, y'all, where y'all can give us your reasons on what you think about the topics we're talking about today. It's your boy Fuel in the house.
Fat Boy in the building. You already know what type of time we on. We are here.
And it's Dr. C, the place to be.
That's right. That's right. And we got Lift is going to be in there joining us later. He had to take care of a little business or whatever. So he's going to join in on the conversation. Appreciate you guys that are here. And we want y'all to comment. We want y'all to come out. Okay. As y'all know, I always start off with some kind of video, right?
You got to be messy.
Yeah, no, just to get people's opinion, just to get y'all opinion. You know, I like to catch y'all off, you know what I'm saying? Because I like to hear real opinions, you know what I'm saying? So this one right here, you guys, this is about being insecure. And I want to see what you guys think about this young lady. Or, huh? What'd you say, Ron?
Fat Boy said,
Okay. Yeah, Fat Boy, it might relate to something on here. I don't know.
Hey, man, see how you do me? You see how he started early.
Oh,
I told you. He got messed. He got messed, Dr. C.
All right, let me get this video. Let me find it.
He stayed with mess. There go my leg. Then flew up. Threw me under the bus.
All right, well, here he goes. Hold on. All right.
Give me an actual example of an insecure guy then with a girl.
The insecure guy is the guy that sets no boundaries for the woman. He'll let the woman go to the club, be out at 3 a.m, and he's just like, oh yeah, sure. You want to take that girl's trip? Go take the girl's trip. Oh, you drinking with your girls and some guys is going to be there? Oh, you have guy friends? Oh, hang out with those guy friends. That's an insecure guy. You know why? Because he's not secure enough in the relationship to tell the girl the truth. I don't date women that go to the club, take single girls trips, or do these promiscuous behaviors that put herself in a situation where it could damage the relationship. Think about it. If I'm secure in the relationship, then that means that I don't care what you say. I don't care of your reaction. I'm going to tell you these are my rules of the relationship because you've asked for it and I've granted it, right? Here's my guidelines. If you don't follow my guidelines, then guess what? You will no longer be in a relationship with me. So that's a very secure guy. He's very secure in his position in a relationship. The dude that isn't secure in his position in a relationship, he allows his woman to walk all around him and through him.
Give me an
woo! We can tell he insecure because he just told on himself.
Shit.
He just told on himself.
Where you going with this first, Fuel? Because I want to see you because you got something to say.
Yeah, he got something to say, but let me tell you, anytime a man speaks like that, and it's all about controlling. So it ain't about you even wanting her to be who she is, because if you saying, if I can't tell her how I feel, to express to her what my thoughts are, and then let her decide what she wants to do. Right. The least is funny. Yeah. You know, it's like, what in the world? And then he said, and if you're not going to do what I say do, then we're not going to be in a relationship. Well, first of all, you're insecure that you got to put all these stipulations on me to make you feel good. So that means you want me to sit under you so you can control my every move. You're insecure. That's what that is.
This is an example of how the young generation mind is, though.
That's crazy.
You know what I'm saying? Basically, you know what I'm saying? We've grown up in a generation of not being insecure is by being able to let you be you.
Yeah.
Let you be you or whatever. And when you come, because I know what I bring to the table. I know who I am. I know you're going to be back home. You know what I'm saying? You go out with your girls, you coming back. You know what I'm saying? I'm not tripping off you messing with somebody else or whatever. If that shit happens, it's going to happen. You know what I mean? But if I'm secure about our relationship, I'm letting you do you. Do you? Because you're going to be happy. And as long as you're happy and you come back home happy, we're going to be happy. You know what I'm saying? So that's why when I seen that, I was like, what the fuck?
I want to know who that. I want to know who that young man is.
These dudes,
I want to know what is happening in your life that you, at that young of an age, that you think that you need to control a young woman, and if she doesn't do what you say do. So obviously, to me, when you like that, that means you're a little volatile. I can see hands flying, and as soon as the hand fly, that means death is upon you, because nobody got time for that. You know, so you that controlling, that young, that means you watch this behavior in your household. Someone around you has taught you that if a woman does not do what you say and does not act the way you want her to act, that there's a problem with that, and you have to control that. No, sir, that's called you can miss your life. You went up on the wrong person, and she ain't gonna be playing with you, especially when she don't come from that type of background. You don't talk strong to a woman, especially if she got your back. Now it can be different if she's out there in them streets, and you checking her and catching her in relationships or doing things she don't have any business doing. That's one thing. But if she ain't doing none of that and just enjoying life, having fun with her friends, and she comes home with you, there is no need for all of that. You talking too strong for it to be so young. That's crazy.
Jill said, sounds like the speaker is insecure. He's got that's exactly what I said when I first that's why I wanted to get y'all reaction.
Boy, it's like, dude,
when he said that. I think that I try to read between the lines of when people say certain things as to how they might think. You know what I mean? And I'm thinking that his thought, or his train of thought, is that being insecure is, because of the fact that, say for instance, they set rules for their relationship. You know what I'm saying? And then she's doing opposite of that or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I think that's what I'm getting from it.
But he was saying that because a man that is a man. So let me just put it like this. A man that is a man that is very secure is not tripping about what his lady does and when she comes home, because he knows she ain't out in the streets trying to be in the streets. She may be just hanging out with his friends. He tried to make it seem like because a man lets his wife or girlfriend hang out, do whatever she want to do, have her time by herself with her friends, that he's being a pushover, that he's insecure. That's not insecure. That's called a secure man that knows that whatever I bring to the table in my house, I'm good and she's good.
And you should already have dictated as what your relationship is supposed to be looking like anyway. You know what I'm saying? So I can understand. So I can understand if you're the type of person that basically, have these certain rules, and that woman applied by those rules or whatever, but she goes outside of that, you're going to be a little insecure the fact that she's doing it. You know what I mean? Because, you're thinking like, well, damn, whatever I said, whatever, and what we agreed to is not what's happening right now. So yes, you're going to have some sort of insecurity as to, that person, because she's not, she's gone out the box or whatever your relationship is from the get. But if you're secure within yourself or whatever, like you said, if she does do whatever the case may be, then you just know you need to kick rocks and, let her kick rocks and move on,
First of all, that's probably some of the most goofy shit that I've seen all year. One, I'm sick of this narrative, man. Right? That's why our black women act like that with us. And I be telling, I clown with Marlon a lot. Like, don't become one of them guys because you've been turned down multiple times by women. That's all I see. I see a dude that is a red pill gentleman who is tired of getting, quote unquote, turned down, right? And he is taking a stance. Now, that's why they call him sassy. You know what I'm saying? Because I think that's, if I'm trying to build with a woman, I'm not treating her like excuse me, I was about to curse, a item, you know what I'm saying? I think like men we gotta start checking men as well, right? I get the valid point of setting a standard. right? I get that point, right? That's the only thing I understood what he was trying to say. However, when you're in a relationship and you're building with a woman, that shit is arbitrary, bro. It's like so Neanderthalish, and to be a young man to think like that lets me know that you as Black Lift say, what you call him? What's the name you call him?
What, a herb?
A herb. He's a herb.
Yeah, he's a herb.
And he tired of paying for it. And he tired of being, disrespected because he's not secure within himself. He don't know how to go in his league. He chased the women that he can't get, and he mad because he can't get them because you talk like that, right? Because you got goofy. Exactly. So
if you feel
that
like
was
a woman is
corny.
If you feel like a woman is walking over you because she's going out with her friends or
it's crazy,
coming in late or whatever the case may be, that make you just a fucking wimp. The wimp. If you feel like that's what it is, you know what I'm saying, then you just a wimp or whatever, because anybody that's secure about it ain't tripping if you got that lady, if she's your lady for sure. You know what I'm saying? The only way you're gonna be insecure is if you don't not secure at the fact that she's your woman.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So with stuff like that, it doesn't matter. And why I say that is because even if you are trying to follow her 24/7, you're not gonna be able to stop what she's gonna do.
Cheating, doofus.
Bruh, look, family. People used to tell me all the time when I worked for the railroad, right? And I would be gone for like a week. And they would be like, "Man, you ain't worried about your woman cheating?" I said, "Why the hell would I?"
Yeah.
What is worrying about it gonna do for me?
What's the point of having a relationship?
Right. Wait a minute. It still don't matter. She gonna do what she want to do, whether I worry about it or not.
Yes, sir.
Why the hell I'm gonna go out here and risk my life and be worried about somebody I can't control?
Right.
Boy, see, because he got right on top.
This shit, right? You got losing concentration on the road and what you doing.
Exactly.
About what she's doing and shit. Yeah.
These fools trying to rush home on Friday night trying to catch their old lady at the club. I'm like, bro, why are you doing that?
Wasting time. Jill says, go back to Jill, sir. Why are you moving so quickly? Jill says a secure man lets a woman spread her wings. We sense that energy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Let's go. Keep going.
Let me get some of them. Let me see.
Kick
rocks. Oh, what's good, fam? That's my cousin BP, man. What's good, fam? Thank you for tapping me in.
People tell all themselves. I'm pretty sure you mean people tell on themselves all the time. That's why I listen so hard. Yeah.
Very true.
Good stuff.
Rob, hey,
watch out there, Jack.
Rob.
Jay's in the house.
What's up, Jay?
I'm thinking everybody's coming, baby. Come on.
Marlon says it all comes down to trust, but nobody seems to trust nowadays.
That's a fact, Marlon.
And
boy, got some sense.
Basically, and I don't know why I hate to keep saying the younger generation, but that has been the case.
Yes,
with all the stuff that goes on out here on internet. I mean, it is hard. It is hard to, to trust that person that you're with or whatever. And if you can't trust that person, then you don't need to be with that person.
No,
that's the main thing.
Don't waste your time.
Exactly. Let me see. Go back.
Next one.
Hey, Renee.
Delisa said that ish was put out there for clicks and to do just what you guys are doing.
Absolutely.
Well, of course.
Absolutely.
You're right about that. Yeah, it's definitely out for clicks. That was. Go ahead.
Now she is rubbing other men in his face, and he's not doing anything about it. He might be insecure or a punk about setting boundaries and losing her, or a cuck.
Property. That's what they try.
Natural order.
It's crazy.
In his mommy's basement, shining his bicycle and playing video games. Look, man. Look, when I used to work for Uber, I mean, when I did Amazon Prime, I promise you, anytime I had to take like 3 12-packs and like a case of water up to the 3rd floor of an apartment complex, I promise you, a dude over 300 pounds with a pizza stained T-shirt was gonna come to the door. And that's what it was. Sitting there playing video games, playing Dungeons and Dragons and crap. with peach on his shirt.
Yeah, that's the young one, man.
That's crazy.
I went out with my girlfriend last night, and my husband told me to have a great time. He better have Jill, because I would have.
Right. What I'm
myself.
What I'm gonna say?
What's up, Nate?
Nate's here.
What's up? What we got?
Big O says, if you're worried about what a woman is doing, then you are insecure because you know as a man, you not doing what you should as a man with your lady. Well said. Stamp it.
Well, that still goes back to the same thing that if you worried about somebody doing it 9 times out of 10, you doing it.
You ain't. Mm-hmm. Come on, Black.
No, you cheating. So I mean, that's why you worried about it because
you know what you do when you go
exactly.
Out
you know what you do, so you know what somebody else gonna do to your girl.
Exactly. I like Rob's comment. He said, that's why I'm starting off as friends first. We got to be best friends.
Come on, Jack.
Hang out.
That's right up. Hang
out. That's right up.
The hangout queen. Yeah. This ain't no date, Playboy. We just hanging out.
We just hanging out.
Hang out, dog.
No, for real.
All right, man. Let's get into it. It's that time. It's that time for my man. History and Blackness, man. What we got here, fat boy? Let's go, baby.
We got some shit. Hold on now. I gotta.
You gotta get your switch together.
Hey. Come on now. No, man, we got. Listen. Each week I'm gonna keep hitting you over the head. I'm coming out the crates today. I mean this time because I'm pulling out not oldie but goodies. But they all new.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this one new
so I'm hitting them over the head. These are still people who are still living, actively holding these positions the last few weeks, which is very dope. So let's get into it. Another segment of History and Blackness, of course, I'm Fat Boy. And today's segment is about Calvin G. Butler Jr. Mm-hmm. Born in 1968, is a trailblazing American executive who in 2022 became the first Black president and CEO of Exxon Corporation, the largest utility company in the United States by customer count, serving over 10 million customers across 6 states and the District of Columbia. Born and raised in St. Louis, Missouri, Butler earned a bachelor's degree in public relations from Bradley University and Juris Doctor from Washington University School of Law in St. Louis. His career began in legal and governmental affairs at Central Illinois Light Company, followed by leadership roles at R.R. Dudley. He joined Exxon in 2008 and rose through the ranks, serving as CEO at Baltimore Gas and Electric through 2014 through 2019. CEO of Exxon Utilities at 2019 to 2021, and Chief Operating Officer of Exxon before assuming the top position. Butler's leadership extends beyond corporate success. He is a prominent advocate for diversity, equity, and inclusion in the energy, in the energy sector and the broader business community. His accolades include being named Black Enterprise's most influential Black executives in corporate America in 2022 and receiving the BEYA Chairman's Award in 2021 for his contributions to STEM. He serves on numerous boards, including the Institution of International Education, the Library of Congress, James Madison's Council, and his alma mater, Bradley University. Butler's ascent to the helm of a Fortune 100 company marks a significant milestone in the American business history, exemplifying the impact of inclusive leadership and the advancement of African Americans in corporate America. Come on, man.
Yeah.
Come on now. Come on now.
Man, you ain't have to do me like that, man.
So he so Mr. Butler, one of my best friends here works for him.
Mm-hmm. Oh, really?
Oh yeah. And
he spoke on it last week.
He's top notch. When I say he's top notch, he's top notch. Exxon has done an excellent job with the diversity and culture with a lot of their top people who are of color. And they definitely believe in, creating opportunities for their employees to grow. So yeah, he's a top-notch guy. He really is.
That's what's up.
So that's
me,
so cool.
Look, me and that dude the same age. What I'm doing wrong?
Nothing.
Hey, I'm Fuel. What am I doing wrong? My name is Fuel. What the hell? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But that's history in blackness, my boy, Fat Boy. Nice, thanks for bringing us a good one, man. Appreciate you.
I'm gonna keep pulling them
Hey,
out.
you gotta put up Jill's comment.
Oh, here. Oh, wait a minute. Let me get first.
No, for real.
Looking like a woman who needs attention from other men. Oh, that's for old one. All right.
That's old.
Oh, who is that? Sika Sala? Who's that?
Solace.
I don't know. Sika.
What's up, Sika? If I hope I said it right.
I know.
If you guys on Facebook, because I'm seeing on Facebook, you guys can see it. But
yeah, Sala's on YouTube.
There's been more shares on there.
Sala's on YouTube. So.
Yeah. Sharing the comments, sharing the video and everything. I appreciate you guys. If y'all on there, show some love and get
thank y'all. Let's go. Let's keep it going.
Appreciate it. All right, here we go.
But Jill said, I swear I have learned more about Black history from you all than in all my schooling. And I have a master's degree, so I went to school forever. Thanks, Bad Boy.
No, I appreciate that. I learn every week, y'all. I'm telling you, Jill. I'm for real, Jill.
Yeah,
it's so much out here that they don't teach us. And I actually brought, and I'm gonna touch on this, and we can go to the next segment. I actually brought this idea to Fuel because I was like, it was Black History Month, and I was telling him, like, I'm tired of them talking about Benjamin. They don't even talk about Benjamin Banneker, right? I'm tired of them just talking about Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, you know what I'm saying? And there's so many other people out there that have contributed immensely to this culture. That's African American, and I switched up to the current because I noticed that we were being dated, and I want people to see that it's still going on to this day. That people are still trailblazing to this day. So let's stay inspired.
And one thing I definitely want to state about that, Fat Boy, is that what some people try to say is that this is like divisive and things like that. But what people need to understand is that African American history is American history.
Yes, sir, King.
It's American history. It's just another segment of it. So it's just like Jill said, it's just there's so many things that we're forced to learn about other cultures and other groups, but they're not they don't learn. Other groups don't hear anything about African American history, and it still is American history. These are things and people that are in America. They are Americans. We all are Americans.
Yes, we are.
So it's not divisive. It's just opening up another avenue for you to learn things that you never learned.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, very important.
Very important.
All right, man. Well, let's get into this next segment, y'all. They say they come in threes.
Gang banging.
You done lost me on this topic. I
don't know how they got there, but
I don't know what you're talking about. You're going to school me on.
I gave y'all a hint.
Gang banging, guys. Did Smokey Robinson do it? Y'all haven't heard about this yet, have y'all?
I've heard. Yeah.
I hope it ain't true because Smokey gonna be in the jail getting gang banging. No, let me stop. I ain't gonna do it like that. I'm just joking, y'all. No disrespect.
All right, Fuel or Fat Boy. Somebody need to explain it to those that are not.
Well, if y'all give me a chance here.
No, you're too slow. Come on.
Shut up, man.
I hope you guys explain this.
Actually, he spoke up about this. He's been accused of sexual assault by 4 women. For $50 million. Why everybody always doing $50 million? What is this?
That's a nice number.
I know.
Sound
right? Good. But anyway, the former Miracle frontman was accused of sexual battery assault, false imprisonment, gender violence, and creating a hostile work environment by 4 Jane Does who worked for the star and his wife Frances over a period of nearly 20 years. Yeah. The complaint claimed Robinson repeatedly forced the fingers and penis into their vaginas, causing severe and excruciating pain without consent, and also alleged that he would use physical barrier force and threats of force and more, such as locking his bedroom door to prevent the women from leaving during the alleged assaults. Francis, whom Robinson married in 2002, is also named in the lawsuit, as the plaintiff alleged that she had full knowledge of his prior acts of sexual misconduct and failed to take the appropriate corrective action to prevent his deviant misconduct, even after settling cases with other women who experienced similar alleged assaults by Robinson. And so then it breaks down to, as you know, from each woman what he's basically have done. Now, the only problem it's so touchy. It's hard to really judge or believe who did what when. The only problem I have is these ladies were like his housekeepers and assistants. And they were probably like in illegal immigrants, or probably, you know what I'm saying, something where they were scared to talk or whatever.
No.
No, listen. But
go ahead, keep talking.
Yeah, let me finish. So what I'm saying is, I mean, because of course, when it takes up to 20 years or whatever for them to say something or whatever, for one to say something, then the other one come on the bandwagon, you know, that's always happened to be the case. But the only thing I don't really get with this is that you were there and it happened the first time. How did you let it happen the second time?
Why'd you go back?
The third time, the fourth time, the 15th. They talk about 14, 15 times that they've done that he's done this to them. Now, I know, you know, Smokey Robinson, he's a freak. You know what I mean? And even my friend Lisa was telling me about the concert or whatever, you know, how he could, you know, he gyrates or whatever, and, you know, have these thin pants and you can see his thing and all, you know, all this stuff. Yeah. So, you know,
you say what?
Huh?
You say what? Because you said something.
No. Go ahead.
You said that Smokey Robinson be dancing on stage, gyrating with see-through pants. That's what you said.
Yeah.
They, you know, they from that era.
Exactly.
That era.
They was free
that part.
You know, and he's still, you know, he old or whatever. He's still free. The only thing is when people go to that concert, did they go to another concert of his? Did they get, you know what I'm saying? Did you ever hear that, oh, he's doing this freaky stuff or whatever up until this lawsuit?
You know what, Phil? I don't even know no more, bro. I used to be like, man, he ain't do that. But you know what? Who's to say he did, bro? Because these dudes be getting wild. Man, I hope Smokey ain't go out like that.
Yeah, I can't say he didn't do it. But I can say I don't understand why you were fool enough to come back 3 or 4 or 5, 6, 7 other times. How you let that happen 3 or 4 or 5, 6 other times is what I don't get. You know what I'm saying? So when that happens or whatever, it's kind of like, you know, what happened to the point where now, you know, you're trying to make some money or you're trying to get some money out of them, whatever, you know what I mean? But you let this happen to you 20 times. It don't make sense. What y'all think?
I believe he did it. Look.
I can't say he didn't do it neither.
Look, it's the Bill Cosby thing all over again.
Mm-hmm.
Because what I'm gonna say is, and it once again, let me put this disclaimer out there. I am not in any way, shape, or form condoning what any of these freaky men did.
Right.
However, it was you can't litigate old things to a new standard.
Mm-hmm.
Do you get what I'm saying with that? Does that make sense?
What do you mean?
You can't litigate stuff that these dudes was getting away with 20, 30, 40 years ago. Now you wait till they 70 and you want to try to hold them to today's standard of the Me Too movement and all of this and all of that.
Yeah.
Like you said, they kept going back. They kept going back. Now, is he a creep? Yes. Now, and the bad part is that because it was so long ago, they cannot press any criminal charges. All this stuff is civil.
Well, yeah, it is civil. Yeah, you're right.
It has to be civil. So basically, the only way that they feel like they can get something is get money off of them.
Right.
So I mean, like I said, I'm not condoning it in any way, shape, or form. However, like I said, I'll use Bill Cosby. I'll go back to his example as well.
Mm-hmm.
Back then, when he was with them women, they was all taking that Spanish fly and dropping acid and doing all this stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
But now the dude's like 70, 80 years old. Now you're gonna try to throw him in jail.
Mm-hmm. But you got Jane Doe #2 that worked for Robinson from May 2014 to February 2020, and claims she was assaulted by the star at least 23 times. Per the complaint, Robinson allegedly raped her and also forced her to perform oral sex on his erect penis. That's basically what they're saying. So from that long and from that time, 23 times.
So let me say
that. I'm not getting that.
Let me say this. If you as a woman feel threatened or you've been in a position where you have been taken and victimized, you're not going to tolerate someone continuously victimizing you. You're not going to do it. Mm-hmm. And I'm telling y'all this as a victim that have been there. Mm-hmm. You're not tolerating that. Mm-hmm. Because one, if you're doing something unwillingly and it's not your will and a person is taking full advantage of you, you're not dealing with it. I don't care what they say.
Right.
You're not going to go back. You're not going to put yourself in a position to keep having to repeat and keep dealing with something.
Yeah. How do you go to work every day and knowing that
this is the reality. Whatever was going on and whatever arrangements these people had going through this situation with him, you can't tell me 27 times that you have literally gone back to deal with this because you're getting something from it. Now, whether they ever tell the truth that whether he gave gifts, gave finances, help with family, whatever it is, they're getting something out of it. It's now because all the stuff that is happening and everybody else has gotten paid.
People are getting paid.
Now they want to get paid. But the reality is this: if you take as a woman, agree, and you continue to allow somebody to just do something that you can't say they're taking advantage of because you keep going back and doing and receiving whatever you're getting out of it. A true victim ain't got time because the next time you come for them, they coming for you.
Exactly.
So you're not going to say, there's no way that I would allow the person that victimized me to be in my face and smiling and still they coming because I'm gonna be sitting in jail kicking my feet up because you're not gonna be here to enjoy nothing.
Yeah.
Right.
That's the bottom line. So all of this stuff that these women do, this is when women that really have gone through these things get a bad rap before the women that keep playing these games with these men that have money or whatever. And so those that have really been victimized and couldn't take up for themselves, it's hard for somebody to believe them or to just support them because you got all of these people doing this craziness right here. If I felt like I was victimized, he would have been sued a long time ago. I ain't waiting 20 years. I'm gonna get mine right then and there. If you
and you still have to look at it from the standpoint: if any one of these women had come forward, it would have stopped.
It would have stopped. He would have went to jail.
It would have stopped.
He would have went to jail. He would have been convicted. He would have been locked up. So if it is true, and then if that's the case, you can take yourself to the hospital and go get a test done that will show a rape kit that will show if a person has actually victimized you. Regardless, they can do that. So you can't be sitting here and acting like you don't have any way of doing stuff to protect yourself.
We got to get in these comments, y'all. They're going crazy.
It's a lot of comments.
I know, right?
Gotta go on the comments.
O said Byron Scott is going through a sexual assault case also. In case y'all haven't heard about that, Byron Scott is going through it about a 15-year accuser was 15 at the time, and he was 26. That was how long ago?
Man, stop. Yeah.
I don't understand it. But anyway, let's keep going.
We can't put a time period on people's trauma, y'all.
No,
you can't. But I'm just, it just boggles me why and how they take it. You know what I'm saying? So long. But anyway, I mean, like I said, if it happens, true is true. If they wrong for it and they can get in trouble for it, then that's what that needs to be happening. That's what needs to happen. My first job, I worked as a bellman. Smokey was staying there, and when my mom dropped me off, he was outside waiting for his driver. My mom came out saying, "Oh my God, Smokey! All my boys saw her sweating you." Well, they gonna sweat.
They love them old light eyes. You know what I'm saying?
There are women that willing to drop it for him.
Like it's hot.
Fewer predators go after women that usually have been abused before. They are less likely to speak out. I'm not saying that's this situation though. Well,
27 times.
You're somewhat right though, Jill, because these women were like immigrants. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Helpers, housekeepers, and stuff like that, and assistants. So they were all immigrants, from what I'm understand, and they might not have had their
undocumented
documents and stuff like that or whatever. Now, now, with that said, the abuse that you took all that time, and then once you get your papers to be illegal, I can see that. I mean, I'm just saying.
You had to wait till you got the green card before you could sue.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? Before you get deported back or whatever, you gotta have your shit right or whatever, because that's gonna be the first thing his lawyers say.
Yeah, the reality is, if that's the case,
the threat of him getting away with it all that time.
You have to, even if you were an immigrant and you didn't have your green card, rape is rape. Abuse is abuse. It has nothing to do with what their status is. If they have been victimized, at the end of the day, it is legal for the police or whoever to go in.
But I'm saying the mindset of the women, the mindset of, if you basically know, if I go talk about it, my name gets out there and I'm not legal, what's the first thing their lawyer going to end up doing? Is deporting them back. So in their mindset, if they're not trying to go back to their country or whatever the case may be, they might have took it in for a while and been like, you know what? When I get a chance to, I'm going to sue. That's what I'm saying. I'm just looking at it in both perspectives. You know what I'm saying? Anyway. Oh, did I miss one?
No.
Delisa says, nope. We were all very uncomfortable watching him perform on stage with an erection. Ricky Smiley Morning also talked about it clearly. He does this quite often during his concert.
What in the world is happening here?
Nasty man.
He out here butt naked with a
Jill said, Black, that sounds like you're saying sexual assault was okay. These predators knew it wasn't okay. They just knew they could get away with it.
Right.
I already told you, I am not saying it's okay. I did not say it's okay.
No, you didn't say it was okay.
No.
Jay said
she paid to clean the home and him, I guess.
Shaking my head too, man.
Yeah, and him. Sounds like
Cat.
Yeah. What she say? They said they continue to work for him because neither funds, they were undocumented. Yes, housekeepers, exactly. And that's probably why. You know what I mean? But still, you find another job or something.
Smokey was cooler than a polar bear's toenails. This seems like slander.
I'm taking that, brother. I'm taking that. Cooler than a polar bear's toenails. I gotta have it.
Yeah, Lisa, sexual predators do prey on vulnerable. That was. Of course, that's why you see R. Kelly. That's what he did, because they were so young. You know what I mean? It was always something that they pound on as far as their weaknesses or whatever to keep them or to get them. Go ahead, y'all.
Unfortunately, Dr. C, I've had so many women share with me that they didn't leave after the first or second time they were assaulted. Some women have already been so abused they just think that's life.
Yeah, well, and I know women like that. I mean, I've dealt with women that go through trauma. We deal with deliverance, so I get that. But at some point in time, once you are clear and you understand that you are being victimized, and regardless if a person knows what your your situation is. We still have the power, once we realize that it's not what we're supposed to be dealing with, to walk away. And sometimes walking away is better than staying in a situation that is going to continue to demoralize and rip you as far as your quality of life. It is not, there is nothing in this world, no matter what people say, PTSD, trauma, there is no way that you should be allowing somebody to control your life like that. You know,
it happens, Dr. C.
So yeah, but we have to also, even though it does happen, we still need to remind each other that we don't have to take it.
That's true.
And because it happens, and it's happening so often, that people become very numb to it. That's like when you say the gunshots are often in the streets and nobody takes and duck anymore. Why? Because they've gotten so used to the sound that the sound is not a warning sound any longer. The sound is just another sound, like you're watching TV.
Well,
we can't do this.
With that said, what you just said, that's the same way that happens with certain victims when they're young or whatever. You know, they were abused by their parents or abused by uncle
or cousin or
whatever, to the point where, like you said, when nothing was done, then they thinking it's a normal thing or whatever, and they let it fly until they get with the right people that they need to let them understand that that's not a correct thing.
Yeah, but before this came out, I can guarantee you that between however many of them there is, somebody has said something to somebody in their family or somebody around them that they know. They have not sat all of these years with their mouth.
Told nobody.
Well, you can't say that because I mean, you have the young generation, or not young generation, but young people now that has that or whatever hasn't said nothing, and then they'll come out at a certain time. So it happens. It's basically like you said, sometimes they're too scared because they don't know what's going to happen to them until they're in a position to know that they're safe. And that's the thing about it, whatever, because when you done grew up 7, 8, 9 years old, you know what I'm saying? And this is abuse going on, especially if you got people that's coming from other countries where they probably was already abused there, been abused there. And then they come to this country and they get abused by somebody that has way more power. You know what I'm saying? They know that this is going to happen, whatever, until they get the teachings of someone else defining out or whatever. So it could happen. You know what I mean? I understand the fact that, you go back 20 times and stuff like that, but I'm looking more for not an excuse, but I'm looking for a reasoning why someone would go back or whatever like that or whatever. Right. And that's kind of like where I'm coming from. There's certain reasons why people do that or end up going or whatever, but it doesn't make it right. And it doesn't mean that you should be able to get away with it regardless.
Right. Okay.
But see, there's a lot, and there's a lot of people that are in my immediate orbit that have been using the word trauma bonded. And I think they're using that way too much in the wrong context.
People using all that stuff out of context.
That whole trauma bond thing, I'm like, get the hell out of here with that.
Recent shit.
Yeah. Jill says, but it is also suspicious that all these people are asking for so much money all of a sudden. Some of these accused are having their lives destroyed, and they might not be guilty.
Yeah. Yep. It can go both ways. Yes.
Yeah. It's definitely a coin toss.
Yeah. Because,
okay.
You never know. They could have been agreeing to this or whatever, doing this happening or whatever. That sounds all until it happens. Look up Kansas City, Kansas police officer Roger
Golubski.
Yeah,
I know all about that dude.
For many years. What do you know about what do you know about that?
So he was a crooked cop, and basically he would arrest people, and he basically just preyed on like minority women in the minority community. Mm-hmm. He basically just raped, he raped a bunch of women. Mm-hmm. I mean, just, like in Quindaro and over on State. And you know what I'm saying? He basically he was a dirty cop. He's dead now, but yeah, he's a dirty cop that so many of his cases got thrown out because of all the crap that he was doing.
Mm-hmm. She said that's one example, and no one believes the victim. Did Smokey what? Hold on.
Smokey died, but look at that handle.
Smokey died.
You know,
Smokey's not dead, is he?
No, look at his handle.
You don't like my music?
That's
you don't like my music. Who is that?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Look at his handles. His handle said, "You don't like my music."
You don't like my music? Smokey died.
Smokey's dead. His victims were minorities. Yes.
Yeah.
What she say?
Poor minorities.
Yes.
Minorities.
You don't like my
Smokey is
music?
being accused of sexual assault. I love Smokey, but why would anyone doubt this?
You're right.
Right. Then Slow to Love says
desensitized.
Who's Slow to Love? We got some new people in the house.
They're in here today.
Let's go.
Come on now.
Let's talk about it.
I guarantee you, if you go ask at least 10 women if they've been victims of any form of sexually abusive behavior, 8 out of 10 will say yes. That's actually higher. It's actually like 9 out of 10 young women don't escape their teens without being sexually assaulted or groped or something like that.
Very much so.
Jill says a lot of victims just don't want to be seen as a victim, so they don't want the attention. They stay silent.
I agree.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, I ain't gonna be seen as no victim, but you gonna get it. That's for sure.
BP, thanks. Great job, Fat Boy.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that, BP.
BP was in the house. What's up, man? Appreciate you guys joining in. All right, man. Let's get into it. Did y'all get anything? Did y'all learn anything from Smokey?
I learned, boy.
Right, did you learn something?
Don't mess with them. Hey, man, if they was snorting cocaine, leave them alone, man. Don't go up there with her, young ladies.
Yeah,
it ain't gonna be safe.
Hey, Second, you right on that. That whole situation should be. It should have already been.
It ain't. It ain't been, but I might have to look into it.
Go ahead, look it up. You'll see. It's Golubsky, the Kansas police officer.
The police officer.
Yeah, Google it. It's some nasty work.
Oh,
yeah.
Look. The call did articles on it, and nobody did nothing about it. And all these papers, they did all. They've been trying to get that cop. They've been trying to get that dude for years. A long time.
All right, man. We got it. It's about that time. What we moving along. We moving along.
Good.
It's dear brother and sister time. You know what I'm saying? It's your time to shine. Live. Let's go, baby. Dear brothers and sisters.
All right. Dear brothers, dear sisters, here's today's question. How many times or how long does it take for your partner to ignore your wants and needs before you give up?
Boy, shit. What you doing? You talking, ain't you?
Look here. A lot of the stuff that I come up with is, of course, from personal experience or things that are in my immediate orbit, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So just to kind of paraphrase one example that I'm giving, say you were engaged to somebody for 3, 4, 5 years, and y'all been going to counseling, and shit ain't changing.
But yet you still get married?
Well, not married yet. Well, if you still engaged, but you know what I'm saying? Yeah. At what point do you really just understand or realize that, hey, this person is not going to change. They are who they are. And that's not what I want in a husband. If you're still going to counseling 3, 4, 5, 6 years in, what say the panel?
Right. Anybody?
Dr. C.
Got quiet.
Hey, no, because there's a lot you can do with this. Like when you did it, shit, you hit us with this one. I'm trying to think of what angle I'm going with this. This is a good one.
It's
go with all the angles
because sometimes it depends on what's going on too with that couple.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? What they got going on financially, what they got going on kids wise, what they got going on, with family, that type of thing. So, sometimes it's hard to just start over. You know, some people try and pray that things get better and better and better as time goes on, and you look up and you're in it 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years. You know what I'm saying? So that's some of the things that can basically, you know, happen. Just how some of the reasons that people can be in it for a long time, you know, as opposed to someone that just kind of like just sees the red flags and be able to say, hey, you know what, this ain't working for me. You know, some can get over it faster than others, but some may have financial ties or something like that or whatever that's causing them to stay as long as they stay.
But it's funny. It's funny. It's funny. One thing that you said
No.
in that, the one thing that he wait a minute. The one thing that he said is that, you know, you pray to God, right? One thing that I've always tried to tell people, or one thing that I really want people to understand, when you God answered prayers the way they need to be, not the way that you want them to be.
Come on.
Exactly.
Do you feel what I'm saying? If you keep praying to God and he keeps showing you that this person's an idiot,
hello,
and you still want to try to stay intertwined,
hello,
okay, so you just gonna ignore my signs.
Hello.
Right.
I'm trying to deliver you from this evil,
Hello.
and you just staying there like an idiot. I don't. Once again, he answered prayers the way they need to be, not the way you want them to be.
Exactly. True that.
And guess what happens? He also says, he will leave you to a reprobate mind. So if you are so busy wanting what you want and desiring what you want to desire, and you're not ignoring the signs that, oh boy's cheating, she's cheating, there's nothing coming in, everybody's doing their own thing, your house is out of order, there's chaos, crazy, confusion, arguing just to be arguing, control issues. If you are in a situation where all of this is happening, how many more signs do you need to understand that this is not for you?
Right.
No matter going to counseling, even in the counseling sessions, you got to be able to listen to what the counselors or the therapist is saying. Y'all are not a match. And stop going thinking that y'all gonna change their mind about you. No. If you're not a match, you're not a match. You got to let it go. Why are we scared to go and start and do whatever we need to do so we can be good? Mentally, physically, spiritually,
emotionally,
all of that. Why are we scared?
All the leaves.
I left a brand new house. Look, I left a brand new house and rolled out because I was not about to stay in something knowing that is not what I needed to be in. And I had children. I'm good. I can start over because I ain't never scared to go do nothing.
Right.
But I refuse to be in a situation where I'm miserable. Because
and the whole financial intertwined stuff, that's all irrelevant.
It's
that's
very
stuff
irrelevant.
I don't understand all of that.
No, that's
because
not
because
I disagree with you that no, it's not.
If you're both working, Stephen, if you both have a job,
build something with someone, that's not irrelevant, because if you build something with someone and you basically financially intertwined with each other, as opposed to getting out and trying to go on your own, it may not have a feasible time to do that, or they might not have that feasible time to do that or whatever, and the time goes on. So that's how you end up there with them longer than you probably expect. You know what I mean? That's basically what it is. It's not like, you know, some people can just pick up right there, you know, or some people are not maybe as strong, like you said, Dr. C, you know what I'm saying, that can just up and go. You know what I mean? Some people are not built like that. Some people relied on each other or whatever as to building their lives, and then all of a sudden they're not getting along. All of a sudden things ain't going the way. All of a sudden you done learn that this person's an asshole. You done learn this person is disrespectful. You done learn all these type of things or whatever, to the point where, damn, now I'm up here, got this, my job is this situation, I'm here and there or whatever the case may be, and now, you know, when can I get by myself? You know what I'm saying? When can I actually cut loose? Some people are scared to, and some people just basically have a plan to do it, and it takes longer. That's all I'm saying.
And I'm not saying do it immediately. I'm saying come up with a plan, but there's got to be a point where it's like it's over. People need to start getting unentwined.
I was gonna.
You need to break yourself loose. Break yourself, fool.
Yeah.
I think you.
And go ahead, fat boy.
I'm sorry. I was gonna
Yeah.
say. I just think that really once you exhausted all measures, I think Dr. C said a great point. Once respect is lost, once chaos enters into the relationship, I do agree somewhat with Fuel in the sense of it could be there's different nuances that may make it harder for a person to leave or stay past the time that is they're supposed to leave. However, I do agree with Black Lift and Dr. C as well in the sense of that we can't hold on to something that's not there. But I also feel that in relationships, we also have to understand that we always ain't going to see eye to eye. And a lot of times we have to meet our partners where we at. And if we have not met our partners where we at, if we have not humbled ourselves, if we haven't handled those nuances of being in a relationship, then the relationship has not met its end, right? Even if it goes back to kind of what Dr. C was saying about the chaos and the respect, because there's some underlying things that have not been addressed. Now, once you've gotten there, there's probably no way that you can go back to a healthy relationship.
Right.
And so once the relationship has reached this point, it depends on the person's level of security within themselves to be able to call it a quits.
Yeah, you have to, at the end of the day, I always say this when there's a couple of, young people that are married that I've actually coached and counseled. We get married because we think that we're so in love, and we're normally thinking we're in love because the intimacy before we ever get married is off the chain, so we think. But after all of that is gone and you've been with the person for a while, you remember you pack your bags to take a trip. But if you take the trip and you get to where you're going, you leave your bags at the door and you never unpack the bag to go in to get what you need out of it, then that means the person never sees what you have. And a lot of times we continue to have our bags packed when we meet somebody and we never open the bag to say, hey, this is what all of my little stuff is. So this is what I'm coming with. This is what I need to get over. This is what I may need help with so that I can move forward. And these are my challenges. This is my trigger. If you don't explain yourself to the person you're with so that they can make a clear decision whether or not they want to be with you or they think that you have a chance of making it in a relationship, then you do yourself a disservice as well as them. Like Fuel said a few months ago when he said the person that he dated never let him know that she has some mental challenges. And so he had to find that out later on, which messed him up because he didn't get a chance to say yay or nay if he really wanted to be in the relationship and help her or deal with that. It's the same thing in these relationships that people are getting in. We go in the door with our eyes closed because we're looking for a surprise. And the reality is you need to go in the door with your eyes wide open so you can see exactly what's inside the door. Because when you don't pay attention to that, then you think that, oh, he's smothering me with this. She's doing this. He's doing that. No, get over the surface stuff, everybody. Deal with the reality of what's really going on. If I see my dude hurting or he's having a hard time and he can't, and I say, hey, what's going on? And he says, well, I'm trying to figure this out. Okay, well, let's talk about it. Because whatever the conversation needs to be to help you figure out where you need to go and whether my input is helping or not, at least you're getting it off your chest. The problem is we so scared to ask somebody what's going on because we really don't want to hear it. We really don't want to know because we don't want to have to feel like we're responsible to help them get to where they need to go.
You got a point there. Sometimes you do get into a situation or get with someone and it's just things that you don't want to know or you don't want to hear.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you're afraid of what the outcome may be, if you do know.
Okay. But so Delisa's comment was 29 years. I don't know if she's pointing toward me because that's my 29 years.
No, she's talking about her.
Oh, her?
Yeah.
Me too, Delisa. 29 years. It took 29 years. But what I want to say to that is part of the mental health aspect that we all need to look at, and we as human beings need to stop putting a price on our happiness.
Come on.
Exactly.
And that's what we're
Hold on, say
doing
that
when you
again.
try to
Say it again.
stop putting the price on your happiness.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying?
That part.
You trying to tie something up. And I look at it from my point, like I said, I stayed in a marriage for 29 years. I probably should have got out at about 10 or 15.
No, you should.
You know what I mean?
5, nigga.
Look, mind your business.
No,
Anyway, look. At 5 years, I already have 4 kids. That wasn't happening.
That's what I said.
But I had 3 kids anyway. But
that's pure example though. That is pure example of why you ended up staying with that person for so long, is because when you try hard your best to make it better. You know, you tried basically, you know, to understand and help that person that was basically negative or whatever towards you, you know what I'm saying? And you and your kids, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly, but that's my point.
Mm-hmm.
My point is I am trying to impart some information to the younger people out here.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Right.
I don't, you know, we go through things in life so that we can share it with other people, so that they don't make the same mistakes.
Right.
And what I want to tell everybody is that when it's time to go, it's time to go.
Yeah.
Stop holding on. Don't put a price on your happiness. Okay. You only have one life to live. And the last thing you want to do is out here on well, even though that was me, out here at 40 years old on Tinder, you know what I'm saying? Even though I met my wife on Tinder, anybody don't know. You know, you out here 40 years old on Tinder, you know, trying to meet somebody because you don't want to be alone in your old age or whatnot. Yeah. Okay, you people live your life. Live your life. Don't put a price on your happiness.
Yeah.
Just like when Stephanie left me, bruh, I let her take everything in that apartment except for my bed and my dresser.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the only 2 things I had, because you know what? I said anything else, I can, just like I got that, I can get another one.
Yeah.
You can take it all. I don't really care. I just need a place to lay my head. That was it.
Yeah. And you was born towards happiness. You was toward, you know.
Exactly.
She basically took so much out of you to the point where you couldn't go but
I didn't care.
You know what I'm saying?
Rob
Jackson said sometimes we just look over all the red flags because of emotional ties and the life that has been built together. So it's hard. I went through it. Yeah, that's exactly.
Yeah.
And a lot of people
Going
go through that. So the question is, you know, although and I'm sure we got viewers that's watching that has went through that, and thanks Liv for that, because basically you have, you know, went through it, and you want to tell people what you just told them is, you know, don't put a price on you know, your happiness. You know, and that's the advice to all of you guys that are listening right now. Don't put a price on it and just move on. You know what I'm saying? That type of thing. That's where you need to do.
If it takes you 6 months to gather your bread to get out, do that. Right. If it take you a year, do that. Yeah. But have a plan. Understand that you deserve to be happy.
Yeah.
Everybody, and you know what? When you leave that other person may find happiness. I don't wish hate on nobody. Mm-hmm. If you want to move on and find happiness, cool, but I want to be happy.
Yeah. Jill said the hardest thing is to admit that the person you loved either wasn't who you thought or they have changed over time. Knowing when to give up is different for everyone in every situation. And that's true. Because the thing is this, we have to realize that when we are 21 and getting married, by the time you hit 24 or 25, you have switched up. Your likes could be different, what you don't like. Yeah. You start realizing that there are sometimes things within your relationship that you may disagree with. And it doesn't mean, or you may be just disappointed in the way a person handles you. And so it doesn't mean you don't love them. You just don't dig the way they're handling you. And so you have to stop and think about, am I really wanting to do this? Because especially Black Lift's a great example. Being in a relationship and being married to say to death means that there are things that you have to deal with. And dealing right now with, you know, Sister Jill going through what she's going through. You know, for people that are not strong enough to handle that, somebody else would roll out because they would have
feet on skates.
Yeah, that would be like, I didn't sign up for this.
Yeah.
And
you have to understand that there are things that do happen in a relationship that are not upfront, but you find out later on. And so you got to make a transition, make sure that you're doing your part. The problem is we get so caught up in this whole thing about love and emotions.
Yeah.
And when you're in that and you're emotional, instead of being understanding and having empathy and sympathy for the person you're dealing with, your emotions take you on a level and on a roller coaster that your mind mentally and your body cannot always handle. So the first things that start to break down mentally, we start breaking down and our bodies start breaking down. Why? Because of the stress. We're stressed out, about to lose our mind over somebody else's emotion. I don't have time to be emotional about your emotions. That's what you need to handle. Now I can come and be supportive and help you, or we can talk through it, or I can just listen. But the emotional part, that's where people are stuck. And we call this soul ties. When you have a soul tie with a person, it is hard to let the soul ties go. When somebody has a stronghold, it is hard to let the strongholds go because you're familiar spirits that you're dealing with in that relationship. So that's why people stay stuck in these things, because they don't know how to let it go. But we don't have, why do I need to be mad at you to leave you? Can I just be okay and we say we done and we go?
Well, there's two things, and I know you're gonna like this comment about Rob. We got to be transparent. That's why you got to be friends first, so you can really learn that person. I know you love Rob, right?
Rob dropping jewels. Don't drop.
Rob's on point.
I want to comment. You know, the word love is thrown around just all willy nilly.
Really? Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And for example, I work at the dealership. You know, and our manager, you know what I'm saying, he throw the word, I love you, man. But you know, if you love me, ain't no buts. You know what I'm saying? If you love that person or whatever, and they're trying to ask you something, they're trying to get something accomplished or whatever, or get a solid answer from you, you don't just throw them away. You know what I'm saying? So love comes by action, not by words. You know what I mean? And that's what I had told my coworker. I was like, you know, because she was like, you know, he always said he loved me. I was like, don't
he don't love you.
Yeah, don't take that as
he don't love you.
The person loves you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He's just saying that's just a word to kind of soften the blow, you know, soften the hurt that he's basically putting upon you or whatever, to make it seem, you know, to make himself feel better. And you know, by saying I love you. I love you, but you know, just call me later about your money. What? No, you got me. You know what I'm saying? So it's stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And that's something that I learned here in Cali. Since I've been here, man, when I used to go out like crazy, whatever, and talk about, you know, people talk about how they that's your boy, that's my boy, that's my boy. Yeah, where they at right now?
Ain't got no boys.
Exactly. Besides that boy,
you ain't got no boys. You know, don't nobody love you. Nobody love you.
Go to the next. Let's go.
Well, one. I got one last quick comment. I'm gonna try to make it as quick as possible. One thing that I want to say is the good thing about us being here in this place and time is that we can all seek counseling.
Yep.
Yeah.
We can get counseling, because the one thing that I want to say, I got married at 20 years old. What the hell did I know
about it?
And I understand that I got married because of my trauma. I wanted a family. I wanted my own family because of the trauma that I had of not having a family per se. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's why I got married so young. I was like, okay, I'm gonna make my family better,
the direct opposite
than the one I had, or blah 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 blah. So that's the thing that I say all the time. Until we deal with our past trauma, trying to move forward in certain things, you can't do it.
You can't do it.
Exactly.
You just can't do it.
Rob said it took him
16 years. Lord.
What'd you say, Jill? Took me 27. I got stuck as I didn't believe divorce was an option until death, etc.
I get that.
Yeah.
I understand that, Jill. Rob says all you guys' points are valid.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Second said, I would have cherished my first love telling me about me affecting our relationship with certain flaws I had. Instead of saying you should have known, but I too should have told her about her flaws.
Hey man, I dealt with that. Bruh, you hit the nail. Like I dealt with that, bro. And I think one of the things that allowed me to grow is accepting my accountability in the situation and moving forward. Because I was really, really sad about that because I didn't know and I did not have a clue on how to properly articulate myself emotionally when I had reached my emotional capacity, right? I didn't know how to take advice from a woman, right, when she was giving me the information. But what bothered me is, like you said, you should know, right? And as I grow, as I learn more, I realize that that's just naive of us as people, and is ignorant of us, or to place a false expectations on people, right? Because you're not sure where this person is emotionally, and it's kind of in here somewhere. I'm jumping, right? Unless you've got a psychological exam on this person, you don't know where this person is at emotionally.
Right.
And I think that we enter into these relationships, like Dr. C say, with all of these packed bags and on both sides, right? And haven't unpacked anything. In the moment you begin to start to unpack everything, then everybody starts to run to the door because you realize what's in the bag. You don't like candy corn. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? You realize you don't like candy corn.
It's a trick bag.
It's a trick bag, right? Or it's just an acquired taste. And to be able to acquire that taste, you have to be able to understand. It's like liver, right? And sometimes, right, you either like it or you don't, right? And sometimes it takes for you to actually try it out and unpack these things. So that's all I want to say. But you're absolutely right, Stephen.
Thanks, y'all. That's just what I'm going through now. Has taught me. That's what I'm going through now has taught me. And Fat Boy can attest to that because I be talking in his ear and talking his ear off.
Talking in his ear is crazy.
But so like what I'm saying is, if you're in a relationship, right, for years, and you've been going to counseling all this time, and you choose to ignore what that person's saying, that's like failing an open book test.
It is.
Right.
How the hell you gonna fail? I'm telling you, bro, and you still not doing it. Or I'm telling you, sis, and you still not doing it. How you gonna fail? It's an open book test. I'm telling you, you still not hitting it.
But I'm not a test taker.
Well,
right?
But you don't
for real.
No,
what if I'm not a test taker?
You got all the answers.
If the person is telling you their truth, we have to listen because they're telling you their truth. They're not. There's no need for anybody to sit up, and I don't need to pretend to be somebody else that I'm not. If I come to you and I'm just being open and honest and transparent and just telling you how I feel, you know, where I am in my life, and then my desires or goals that I have, you have to believe that that's who I am. I don't need to sell you on who I am, but I'm just telling you so you will have an idea, and whatever you take from it is what you take from it. If you tell me something about you, I'm listening to everything you say, because guess what? Whatever the truth is within that conversation, you're going to show me that. I don't need to be trying to figure it out who you are, who you think you are. No, you're going to show me that. And I think sometimes we take people for granted when they're just being authentically themselves. Because you think, oh, well, no, they're not really like this. Oh, well, no, that's not really how you really are. And I think you this. No, how you going to tell somebody who they are and they've been themselves all their life? Like, that's crazy.
One of the examples that I've have experienced in life, which I'm lucky, you know, my situation worked quicker than what a lot of other people is. For example, my daughter's mom, when we got married, you know, we had the plans, you know, to move to Atlanta, do our thing, whatever. I'm doing the music thing, blah, 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 whatever. But once we got there, it just didn't go as planned. And because once we physically went through the emotions of the things that we thought we wanted and found out that it actually really wasn't, it caused a little chaos, you know, within the relationship, especially when you have a newborn and you know, come in and whatever the case may be. Now, what we did was we went to counseling. We got our talk through. I thought I was right about things. She thought she was right about things, right? But then we see the counselor, the stuff that I was right about. I was just right about the things I was wrong about. I accepted I was wrong about, but she would not accept what she was wrong about.
Oh Lord, I
What
was.
she wanted to hear. She wanted that counselor to be on her side about everything because she felt that she was right. You know what I mean? So when I seen that she was having deaf ears to that, that's when I said it's not going to work because I ain't putting in the work. I ain't putting in the understanding. I'm taking in all of this information or whatever about you and what you need and what you want, but you're not doing the same. You're not reciprocating. So that's how we ended up, and it was rough for at the beginning, and it was scary because I did not want to be apart with my daughter. You know what I mean? But being the fact that we actually did that, we ended up best of friends because we now understood, who she was, who I am, and how we're going to live our lives regardless. You know what I mean?
And I promise you, it was better for your daughter that way.
Yes, and understanding that, what I'm saying, I was a better
Absolutely.
person. I was a better person towards her, not being in a relationship with her.
Right.
As opposed to her, us being in a relationship and having all these false dreams on, being this happy-go-lucky couple. You know what I mean? So that's what basically, when it comes to time span, for some people, some it happens fast, and some it takes a long time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That type of thing. So that's what I hope you guys take out of this conversation that we just had on Dear Brothers and Sisters. I appreciate you guys tapping in. All the new people that came in here, man, I love y'all.
I love it.
Continue to share. I looked even on Facebook and I seen how many shares is on there, man. So I'm excited and happy that you guys, and hope you guys come back next week. Because we always got something. We always got something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Real quick, the last comment is basically mature communication took me a while.
Brother, come on now. Let me bow with you now. Come on now. Talk to me. Come on now. You said something. Well, you said something.
Right. On that note, man, we're going to end the show today. I appreciate you guys tapping in. Of course, I love my crew. I love y'all, man, because y'all do what y'all do, and we do what we do, and this is the shit. So I appreciate y'all. What you got, fat boy?
Like Jill said, another great show, man. You know I love y'all, man. I love my co-host, and I love the call and response we're getting in these comments, y'all.
Yeah.
I'm loving it, man. I'm loving it. I'm loving hearing y'all. And these dear brothers, dear sisters, y'all. Black Lift feet he's whooping feet in here. He's going crazy. But if you have any dear brothers or dear sisters, make sure you send a 30-second or minute clip to firedupbroadcasting@gmail.com. That's firedupbroadcasting@gmail.com. And just title it Dear Brother, Dear Sisters. We want to hear it. Delisa. You feel me? Jack. You feel me? I want to hear it, man. Come on, man. I want to hear it. I want to hear it. And I love y'all, man.
I have been getting videos. I have don't know if you guys have known, but I have gotten videos in Dear Brother, Dear Sister email for Instagram, on Instagram and stuff like that. So we will start playing more of those as well. You know what I mean? So appreciate you guys doing that. What you got, Liv?
Once again, thank y'all for tuning in. I love my panel. I love y'all. There's no fat butts with that. No, I love y'all. For real though. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because. And for all the new people here, what Dear Brother and Dear Sister is, it can be any question that you want to ask a fellow human being, a brother or a sister, any kind of question, anything that you need guidance on, anything you think you may need help on. If we can help, we would definitely help. Yes. Okay, everybody that's here right now, I want y'all to tell 2 people and then have them tell 2 people and tell 2 more people. And I will see y'all next week. Peace.
And last but not least, I got here the beautiful voice.
This is another show down. Very good show. Good conversation. Look, I'm digging all the new people. Like they came in rolling like that, Yes, so please, whatever you do, come back next week and hang out with us and continue to comment and be a part of the conversation because y'all, that's what this is about. It's just having real conversation amongst each other and bringing wisdom, knowledge, and understanding so that we all walk away with something that we didn't have before we got on here. So until next week, be good to yourself, stay true to yourself, love yourself, be kind to yourself. We love you. Can't wait to see you next week.
All right. And
remember,
if they talk
about you behind your back,
they behind you
for a reason.
Peace. All our illusions will disappear, and all the reasons start to fade.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Reasons, the show where you can give your reasons why you think what you feel about what we're talking about today. We should know this, man. We say no.
Dear brother, how do y'all deal with erectile dysfunction when you're in a relationship?
I wouldn't know how to do it unless I had it. And remember, if they're talking about you behind your back, they behind you for a reason. Peace.